So you've got a broken cutting board. You can either toss it or fix it. And I vote we fix it. Let's do it. So buying a brand new cutting board would take you 10 minutes to get to the store, 10 minutes to get back, and cost you $20 to maybe $150 for some super swanky cutting board. But at the end of the day, a cutting board is literally something upon which to cut. That's it. So I've got 20 minutes and I don't want to spend a lot of money. So let's do this little number. Cleaning up the broken part proved pretty easy because it split almost down the center. So with both sides ready to go, same width and everything, I got to use my dowel jig. I think the dowel jig is just the most incredible little machine tool there is, because if you can't afford some super fancy domino machine for $1,000, you can totally use a dowel jig. It basically holds stuff together, and all you need is a drill and the jig itself. It's pretty straightforward. So my plan is using little 3/8 inch dowels. I'm going to use 3 of them across the middle. Spoiler alert, something goes awry, but you just roll with the punches. Anyhow, so setting it up, as usual, you just want the dowel kind of in the dead center as best you can. And the width of the dowel should not be more than, I think it's a third of the width of the total cutting board. I believe mine is about 3/4 of an inch thick. So using 3/8 is maybe a little too thick, but it's a cutting board, no one's spring diving off of this thing. So I use Jessam. I love this little guy. Made in Canada, super stable, whatever. So you line it up, do your little drill, and it comes with the right size drill bits that fit in the collars and that work, for the size dowels that you need. With the first 3 dowel holes done, you can use this pin, and it lines everything up so that you get exactly in the right, you get the holes basically exactly right, lined up. And there's 3 or 4 different ways to do this, but this is one of the ways. And here is where problematic. What? So after chunking that bit off, I tried everything I knew how to get it out, including inserting it back into my chuck and trying to back it out, trying to get out with pliers. Nothing worked. So I figure, I guess this new cutting board is going to have a metal dowel in it. Metal is fancy, aka now I have a fancy cutting board. My husband is a little concerned that the metal will leach out into the cutting board and maybe give us neurological problems down the road. But I guess when I'm 60, if I got something going on, that's probably what happened. We'll just use this as the camping cutting board, and I think it'll be just fine. I couldn't pound it in, and I couldn't take it out, and I forgot to drill the other hole that it's going to go into a little deeper. Wish I would have done that, but for next time, or if you chunk off your bit, just make sure the other hole, the receiving hole, is deep enough. Otherwise, you just kind of got to get a bigger hammer and hit it harder. And cue the bigger hammer and cue hitting it harder, albeit with a rubber mallet, so it's not going to put that much force on it. But I couldn't be stopped. I couldn't be slowed down. I didn't have time to go get a regular hammer. I was in the zone. But I wasn't in the zone enough, because if I was, I would have put some cauls on this to make sure it was perfectly straight. And I didn't. I just put clamps on both sides, which yay for me, but also missed the cauls. So it's probably going to have a little bit of rocker to it. But if you're not rocking in, you're rocking out. You know what I'm saying? So I was rocking in. I also did not injure myself egregiously. That is red paint on my hands from painting a barn door. Just red paint, and I could not be bothered to clean my hands. Life is too short to go clean your hands when there are multiple projects to do. Can I get a hey hey? Any hoodle. So yeah, this is just cleaning things up a little bit with a little 5-in-1 paint tool, and then heading on to the next step, which was sanding. As well, refinish it. So I palm sanded it, and then I actually ended up hitting it with a belt sander for a little bit to take out a little bit of that rocker than you saw. And I happen to have some cutting board oil. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but I was given it as a gift, and so I figured why not use it. So got all the marks off, took off the old finish or the old oil, what have you, and then put on some new stuff. So fixing broken things in my house is not first and foremost about saving a ton of money, but it's about using these objects and fully utilizing them until they are no more, until they've turned to dust and are completely unusable. It keeps things out of the landfills, it keeps life simple, and it gets to put whatever skills you have to good use. So this cutting board I will use again and again and again, and when it breaks again, I will fix it again. Until the very fibers turn to dust, I will use this cutting board. So in today's episode of Toss It or Fix It for a cutting board that had split down the middle, I say fix it. It took 15 minutes. I had all the tools, and this was just sitting in the cupboard. And then I had a couple little dowels. Pretty easy. I think it looks beautiful. And for 15 minutes, I'm now going to be able to use this cutting board for, it has an 8-year feel to it. So, see you in 8 years, and we'll see if this cutting board is still going after it. All right, good luck out there.